Sometimes a car comes into your life that you know you shouldn't touch with a 10-foot electrified vibrator. But instead of running the other way, you run right at it with your checkbook open. Even though every cell in your body, your friend's body, is telling you not to, you are drawn towards it like a magnetized hornophobic whale. That's a hornophobic, it's a kind of whale. And this is one of those moments. Welcome to another episode of Mighty Car Mods, proudly supported by Just Car Insurance. My man here just bought a car.
That's not true. That's not true, because I didn't just buy it. I bought it quite a while ago, and it is 55 kinds of awesome to a certain kind of person. But there's going to be more and more of those people, I think, after they see how cool this car is.
55 shades of wizard?
Yeah, hordes and hordes of hornophobic,
yes,
whale-like people,
yes,
who are excited about this particular kind of car, and it's something that we've been thinking about for a long time. We finally have the time to do it.
This particular vehicle was purchased a couple of years ago. It has been a secret Mighty Car Mods project, but not a project because we haven't touched it.
Project because it didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't. You're saying didn't like it does now.
It did for a little while.
It's been wearing a tarpaulin as a condom for the last couple of years.
Pretty much.
So, ladies and gentlemen, in an unprecedented event in Mighty Car Mods history, we would like to present to you the future. What we have here is a 1982 Daihatsu Mira Cure handy van thing. It's old, it's unique, it stinks, and this one is a little bit special.
This is our 1982 Daihatsu Mira. Being a small Japanese hatchback, it had a small Japanese engine, a 2-cylinder carbureted 4-stroke. It was never ever fast, but it has stood the test of time. The suspension is crude with rear leaf springs. Being somewhere on the fence between a passenger and commercial vehicle, you could put a few hundred kilos of payload in it. This is an early homebrew electric conversion. Originally running on 8-volt wet cell batteries, in the mid-90s it was extremely rare to see something like this around. So if you think it looks familiar, you'd be right. It kicked off our Lend Us a Ride series last year, where we made it about 1 kilometre down the road before the batteries were totally flat.
We don't have to wait for the engine to warm up, so we can plant it right now. Holy shit balls!
And to be honest, the batteries have only gone downhill from there. Because they wouldn't go uphill, because they're dead.
So what we have here is basically a Tesla, meaning that it has no kind of petrol engine in it whatsoever, and it is 100% completely electric. Now, it's a fairly early conversion. Obviously, this car didn't come from the factory electric. It came with some kind of 2-cylinder engine or some really, really basic, old-school Japanese engine. And it is
such a nugget.
It's such a nugget. And it's worth saying that this car is actually the grandfather of our show car and all the mirrors and all that kind of stuff. This is an early version of that. It was exported to Europe. It was built in Osaka in Japan, exported all over the world, including Australia. We only got a couple. And I've actually only seen 1 or 2 of these on the road ever. So the car itself is already kind of rare, pretty dumpy looking, but the cool thing is it's had a full electric conversion, and we were able to pick it up relatively cheap because it was relatively broken. But it has a complete...
Relatively broken cars that are electric, they either work or they don't. It's totally broken, doesn't work, correct?
Yeah. But the cool part about it is it's got full engineering documents, registration, insurance.
It's registered 100%
right now. Legal to drive on the road.
That's pretty cool.
It's been through all those things.
Just doesn't work.
It just doesn't work, and one of the hardest things of building an electric car is getting it registered, but this is already registered, so we want to try and fix it. But I also happen to know about electric cars. They're a totally different ballgame, but I'll show you around it just a little bit so you can see how awesome our car is.
Manual, that's good.
Manual, but no clutch.
Where's
the clutch pedal doesn't do anything.
How do you change gears?
You use the gear stick, but there's no clutch because you don't need one. You don't need a flywheel and you don't need a clutch, so that there's an electric motor that goes directly into the gearbox. I'll show you, man.
That's weird, man.
Yeah, it is weird. There's heaps of weird stuff about this. We have a lot to see still, including how you open the bonnet.
Oh, wow.
That's cool, eh? So there's batteries all through it.
Is it cool, Marty?
I don't know. I can't figure it out, but I think it is. People talk about the EV smile. I've been in a couple of electric cars, and when they just take off with all this power and torque, like silently, it is kind of cool. But anyway, so there's a whole bunch of these batteries all through it. Big old 12 volt, massive amp hour lead acid batteries that are all flat. But underneath that, we've also got a big motor.
Are they chargeable or are they rooted?
They're gone. Like, you know when your electric toothbrush runs out or your other electronic devices that if you don't charge them or use them
Just too wet, gets all clogged up.
Yeah, well, pretty much. So it's got a big DC electric motor. So this is a DC electric car, which is what a lot of the early ones are.
It's like a forklift, right?
Pretty much. Like it had a lot in common with a forklift motor actually, and it's just been jammed in there on a big brace and then adapted to the factory gearbox. But they didn't need a big flywheel or anything in there. It's just adapted straight in the input shaft. Other little interesting things like that's your accelerator pedal there. So it uses the factory pedal, but it pulls on what is basically a giant potentiometer.
That looks safe.
To tell the controller, which is here, this funny thing that looks like a car amplifier.
It does.
It tells that how much power to suck through the batteries, put through the motor, and make you go. Some not so great things about this car generally as a model is the front brakes and rear brakes are both drums, and they're unassisted. So that means it's like a motorbike. There's no vacuum assist to make that pedal easy to push. It's got some busted steering boots and other things. It's got a whole lot of wiring that no one really knows what it does because it's been sort of modified and stuff over the years. But now to make it go, every electric car needs batteries, and this electric car has a lot of batteries. This is the equivalent of your fuel bowser. So
Show us inside the fuel cap, Martin.
So you plug this into the wall to charge it, and you get your key. Where is it? Other side. You get your key, and you open your petrol flap, and you
open those flaps, Martin.
Look at that.
Stick it in.
And then you go donk, and that charges your car.
Oh man, that's so weird. Showing that again.
Pretty cool.
Take that out. I just want to see that. Wow.
It's cool, eh?
That's what Australian PowerPoints look like, by the way, everyone. Show me the end of that extension lead as well, Martin.
It's 230 or 240 volts, depending where you
Little
are.
person.
Yeah, but come look at the batteries, because that's the other exciting part. This is one of the battery packs. This is
Oh, that's right. It was. Oh, I remember. Yep.
yeah.
Crash Safety 101 cardboard
Safety.
system.
And this caught on fire once as well.
Safety first.
Yeah, but there's lots more batteries. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's another lot in here.
Oh wow,
6,
man.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's so many batteries, man. There's just so many of them, and they're really big and they're really
man.
heavy.
It stinks.
And it smells.
Stinks like old genital warts.
And I reckon there's about 500 kilos of batteries in this thing. And this car probably only weighs 600 or 700 kilos. Without its original engine, it probably has as much batteries as it does steel.
Okay.
So
we're going to fix it.
these batteries have to go in the bin. And a lot of this wiring has to go in the bin or at least get pulled out and redone. And then we have to find some batteries to put in it.
We have to find some nerds
Yeah.
so they can take their revenge on this electric car, Martin.
And luckily there is a lot of people out there that build these. Like there's many people that build turbo cars and stuff. There's a lot of people that build electric cars. And they're really, really scarily smart.
Yep.
And
No, I've met a few and I rate them. They're
yeah.
awesome.
But the aim is, make it go, make it able to go to the shops and get parts and lunch and stuff.
And you forgot one thing, Martin. Electric burnouts.
Electric burnouts.
So we can offset its carbon offset with what it's not using as burning dinosaurs by
smoke.
spraying smoke into the air.
Sounds good.
I mean, it's just,
But
as well.
regardless of what we do...
Is it going to be fast? It is, isn't it?
It's going to be, off the line, it's going to be fast. It's going to be
Yeah.
faster than the original car ever was, which in electric car land is a big deal.
No, it's going to be fast, man.
Yeah.
I can tell.
So
I
first
can
step,
smell it.
everything's got to come out of it. All these batteries have to go.
Can it hurt us? Like a robot would if we were trying to remove its power source?
There's really no charge in it, so...
If there was, though, and someone happens to buy themselves an electric car, fiddling around with electric cars is actually incredibly dangerous, isn't it?
It
That's
can
probably
be.
worth saying.
Well, yeah, potentially if you have a bigger battery pack in your electric car, you're talking about hundreds of volts. This is at 144 or around that number, I'm not 100% sure. And if that was fully charged and you do something silly and short it out with you in between, potentially you can hurt yourself. So you do need to be careful. This has no charge in it, it's flat.
Yep.
It's as flat as a dead toothbrush or other object that you'd put batteries in and keep in your bedroom. So it's pretty much just batteries just have to come out. You've got to replace them.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it.
The tools we're going to need for our battery swap are very basic. The batteries have 10mm bolts holding the many meters of welding cable together. It's one giant series of 12 batteries that used to result in 144 volts of power. Today, however, the batteries are so flat, we'd be lucky to be able to run a remote control car. So they are all going to come out to go and be scrapped and recycled.
Oh my god, that's like 25 kilos just by itself. Wow.
That's epic.
That is so heavy. I can't believe there's so many of them.
They just car batteries.
They're used for like UPSs and stuff. So usually they're 90 amp hour or something.
Lead acid battery technology is mature, common and cheap.
Hey Cheryl.
Most of the batteries charged by alternators and used to start car engines are lead acid. In the electric car game, it's considered old-fashioned, and newer technology has since been adopted, even in aftermarket conversions. You will not see a Tesla rolling around with lead-acid batteries. The batteries in modern EVs have more in common with the battery that's in a smartphone. So why haven't the roads been flooded with electric cars? The answer is energy density. The tank of fuel you're driving around with can currently store and release more energy than what our old batteries will. New discoveries in battery technology may see this change rapidly if it's ever possible to store massive amounts of energy cheaply and efficiently, and particularly in the case of a moving vehicle, safely.
You're going to drive it around, like go down to the shops and
I hope so.
get some drive-through and stuff?
I don't think it'll ever... Well, it's probably far enough to get to the local drive-through. I don't think it's going to have crazy range like early electric cars. Like the biggest limiting factor really is range.
Yep.
Because this lead acid is old technology.
Yep.
All the new stuff has lithium batteries, and I don't think we'll be able to go that crazy on a budget.
We'd still get like 20 k's though, right?
I reckon we'll get, like 15, 20-ish. And it depends. If we put as many batteries as this had back in it, same size, brand new, we'd probably get 60 k's.
Yeah.
But
Because
it's
the
so
newer
heavy.
technology battery is going to be half the weight, half the size for a similar power.
You know what? Even the same technology but newer will be smaller. Like
Yeah.
the battery physically will be smaller, but be like a better battery.
Yeah, awesome.
Much like you can, relocate your battery to the boot of your car and use a smaller gel cell one or something.
Yep.
Yeah, but again, it's diminishing returns because you can add more batteries and add more weight, and then you don't go as far anyway because you're always pulling around an extra like 200, 300 kilos.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
That's been the whole like V8 versus turbo argument for ages, hasn't it?
Yep.
You know, like
efficiency.
bigger engines, heavier, more power, but then more to drag around.
How are we going to get them out? That's the charger. There's three of them, and they're connected with this super high-tech power board and a normal house electronic switch. And
Wow, man, that looks
circuit breaker.
really safe.
It looks pretty homebrew, doesn't it? But I think it's just because of the era that it was made as well. Like, this technology would cost heaps of money. It's now 10, 15, 20 years later. There's just better, cheaper stuff out there. Look at this, like the power supply like on your wall at home. Like, it's pretty...
And what's that wall wart that's hanging off it?
I actually have no idea. That disappears somewhere into the car to do something.
Okay, good. I'm glad we worked that out.
Yeah, there's more cardboard though, you'll be happy to know.
Excellent.
So, because this is the electro chariot of the Space Wizard, we're going to try and be as eco as possible, which means reusing all of this wiring. Now, the wiring is actually good. It's well worth keeping. The thing is with electric cars, and I think the idea is that the batteries are going to wear out eventually, and as technology gets better, they're going to be cheaper, they're going to be easier to get, they're going to be smaller. So other than some of the moving parts here, unlike having to do like coolant and oil and all that stuff in your old dinosaur munching car, with these, it's just a matter of changing the batteries. So where we can, we're going to keep all of this, maybe recrimp it. We don't know yet until we kind of pull everything out. But once all the batteries are out, we can get a bit of a system going for where we're going to lay everything out. Sorry, I just noticed what's holding these batteries in. I don't know if you can see down here, it's just pieces of, it's just this. That's just what holds the batteries in. And cardboard. So it's a quality build. Yeah, so we're going to get all the batteries out. We're going to reuse this where we can, source some new batteries, put put it back in there, wire it all up, and then go down to the tofu shop and get some mad organic tofu and algae thick shake. It's going to be delicious.
Despite lead-acid battery shortcomings, they were used in the original GM EV1 mass-produced car, as well as the Toyota RAV4 EV. Even if a different battery technology has the same energy, any reduction in its overall weight results in greater range and performance. And in EVs, that's really important.
Still easier than an engine swap, isn't it?
Well, yeah. Not as easy as putting in a tank of fuel, which is what we're actually doing.
We're putting in the fuel tank.
Yes.
Not the
Which
tank
on an
fuel.
MX-5 sucks, so this is easier.
Oh, it's strong, isn't it? So we've just removed the batteries and the car has an overwhelming stench of an oceanic abattoir. That's what Marty refers to as fish. It just stinks of fish. Smells like a seafood market.
I reckon someone's
Cheryl.
just pumped it full of say that about Cheryl?
Sorry.
I reckon someone's just pumped it full of
fish.
fish, yeah, like fish oil spray.
Oh, fish oil, sorry.
You know, people like anti-rust stuff? I reckon that's what it is. But look how much custom fiberglass work is in there, man.
Because it's
Look
a
under
boat.
here. Look at this. Like, look how much space there is.
pretty crazy, isn't
And this one here too.
Smell.
And also there's all these vents because apparently originally this used to be like, these are not the original batteries.
Yeah.
So it used to have an 8-volt system with lots and lots of other batteries that were like wet cell lead acid or something, and so you needed heaps of ventilation and...
Why didn't it stink when the batteries are in there and now it stinks like a fish's That's a serious, that's a legit question. It was bearable for now it smells like a eating octopus. This is gross.
Look at it. So someone's put in super heavy duty. Wow! Wow, look at it. So someone...
We just rusted out now and it's straight on the set of Mad Max. You know how they've all got that mad rake at it?
Yeah.
Loves it.
He loves it. Hey, so that used to have even more weight worth of batteries in it than what we just took out, right?
Which is probably like my weight. No, more.
Oh, more. Dude, it'd be hundreds of
I
kilos.
can't even move it.
No, hundreds of kilos. So that's been... So that suspension must have been reset to cope with all that weight, but
Yeah.
now we've taken all the weight out of it. I reckon that's heaps easier to push now as well.
So this is the last one, Martin. The last battery.
12th battery. I'm still coming to terms with the fact that when we put new batteries in, even if we just put new ones in now, say there was a magic 144 volt whatever battery, and you just jammed it in, the car would just work.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, because it seems extreme, but it's just swapping batteries, really.
Yeah.
It's really heavy.
So,
And you know what? All these batteries are worth good money for scrap because there's so much lead in them. You can actually get money for them,
really?
which will help pay for all the other junk we've got to put in it.
Speaking of which, where is all the other junk that we've got to put in? Or does that not exist yet?
No, it's
Are you going to
coming-
go down to a battery shop and buy it?
It's coming with some of my friends.
Good.
So now that our batteries are out, that is pretty much the end of where our knowledge is as far as all this stuff, which is like a main circuit breaker and circuits for charging.
That actually
And
looks
circuits.
dangerous in there now.
Well, yeah, if you touch that and then touch a negative and stuff, you become part of the circuit, which is what you don't
Fry
want.
your
But
balls.
this is not good. But
That's a defect, isn't it?
what we're hoping to do is get rid of a lot of this so it simplifies it and then put more, just better, newer batteries in the back of it and call it a day. But that's pretty much where, my knowledge runs out.
Do you reckon the reason there's so much cardboard in the back is, you know how, like, certainly in New South Wales anyway, if your battery is not installed properly, the police can give you a defect. When you got 12 batteries, that's a lot of, that's a lot of batteries to make sure are secure, which might explain all the styrofoam and all the cardboard.
All I know is there's been a lot of fabrication work done when this thing was built. Like this whole tray here that holds batteries would have had multiple batteries in it But we may not even need this anymore, so it might actually pull even more weight out of it. And if this is light with newer batteries, it should actually be even faster.
So our little electric car has been on a diet, but now it's ready for a feed. Mark has daily driven his DIY electric Suzuki Carry for years. He's a qualified mechanic and he knows a little bit about EVs.
I was always into cars and motor racing and stuff, and I went to a EV display at Amaru Park years and years ago with one of my mates, and I just saw and thought they were awesome. He thought they were a load of rubbish and wanted to go, you know, what's the turbos and rotaries and stuff, but no, they just sparked something in me and I just got involved in it. Like I've been a motor mechanic all my life, and I always thought there has to be a better way. This is it. I just wanted to do an EV, but I didn't know what, and I was using lead acid, so I wanted like a commercial vehicle. And I just went around the wreckers and had a look underneath all the cars and stuff, and once you pull the motor and the exhaust and the fuel tank out of this, there's a mile of room under the floor. And I thought, yeah, and they look cool, practical. I had a family I had to drag around, so you know, ticked all the boxes. It's just a feeling when you accelerate, just that push, it's just nothing about it. It just gives you this EV grin, you just can't help but smile. And the comments you get from people, it's just, you know, it's really cool because it's something different and something, you know, I really enjoy, and they're a great bunch of people who get involved in it too.
Mark had used his van full of batteries to bring us some batteries for our own car.
So these batteries here are well and truly thrashed. We tried charging these, and this right now is making 0.4 of a volt. It's heavy, it's old, it's thrashed, but enough about Cheryl. What we're going to be doing is replacing each one of those with 2 of these. Now these are new batteries, it's newer technology, they're smaller, they're lighter of course, and these ones, all going well, we should be getting, as you can see, 12.5 volts.
Yeah, because they'll accept like all the charge that they're capable of basically having. So obviously smaller because that's still lead acid, so it's still fairly old school. I mean, I think these batteries, they're newer, but I think they're out of like starting systems for racing motorbikes or something. Like,
yeah, right.
That's where they came from. But anyway,
it's pretty exciting. Totally beyond anything I've ever done. And there may be some friendly nerds, Martin, in the comments who want to educate us about batteries.
Oh, there'll be heaps.
I'm looking forward to reading it. I want to learn. I want to know. So get crazy on that.
With our old but new batteries in hand, it was time to let some of the Australian Electric Vehicle Association loose in our shed.
So you put 6 and 6, that's 12 there. 6 and 6 is 12 there. Just see how they fit. I'm sure they'll fit.
Are you still thinking of two packs that are in parallel, and then in series, and then we parallel those?
1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sure that's how they do it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
It's almost going
Oh, yeah, 3 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Look at that. That's so cool. It's like made to fit, isn't it?
Looking better already. They won't fit nicely there because of these 2 boxes. I thought we'll take those boxes out, but there's shock absorbers behind there. So you can't take those out. So maybe we'll put 12 in there and put 12 in there. Look at the big box up the back there.
There's so much space for all the old batteries that were there, right? That's heaps. So is that 12 already? No. How many is that? Yes. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's a pack.
You could put that on, you could run it. You could probably get
You probably
to the end
could.
of the driveway and back.
Yeah,
Wow.
go on, man.
That's what you need. Little links like that, join them all together.
Come on, man. That's cool, man.
Woohoo! Look out.
You guys don't muck around.
We're gonna have sparks.
You've been here 5 minutes and it's already got 1 battery. It's brilliant.
I think we should put the batteries further forward too,
There.
because the weight and balance. It's the drive wheels on the front, isn't it?
Yeah, if he wants to do skids.
I'll put them all in the back.
We don't want any weight in the front, can't do skids when there's weight on the front.
Sure, we can get a lot more in there and just jump a few hills. Yeah, they'll go.
I like your idea of two packs, Mark. I think that's pretty cool. Like that's one.
1 pack.
Another one there. If we can fit them, I'm sure we can fit them. Oh, I know side by side's no good, is it?
That's the best way to do it. You just
linking
put
them.
little links like that, so across, easy peasy.
Which may work the same up front also.
Yeah. They should have come out like this from factory.
Our rear battery pack is starting to take shape. Next we've got to make links to join them all together and then connect it up to the existing high voltage cables that go to the controller at the front of the car.
So what's your thoughts for down here? How many are we going to put in?
12, but trying to think out what sort of configuration would be nice.
You could do. I can't quite get 6, can you?
No, it wouldn't quite fit. Damn it.
Yeah, he had 2 rows up, so he had another row up where that battery's got a row
Can we
there
not
too.
go that way?
Yeah, but then the links get really hard because you've got to jump up and across and down. It's good when you go bang, 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 bang with the links.
Wait, you have an electric Lotus?
Yeah, it's a copy of a Lotus 7.
Oh.
Yeah, it's country.
Oh, cool.
So when I put the actual contacts on the points, they're only about half an inch apart, man. I went in and put them in, and next thing there was a huge orange glow and a bang like a shotgun. And when I pulled the tester out, there was nothing left. It was gone.
That's a good time to let you know that when we were first pulling the batteries out of this, it caught fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, like fire extinguisher. If there was no fire extinguisher, it would have been all over. Seriously. Okay. Another one. Hello.
Okay,
Nice to meet you. What's your name?
Eric.
G'day, Eric.
Eric, I know Eric.
We've been here for 10 minutes and we've already put half a battery pack in.
Right.
Eric's got a Daihatsu. You've got a Daihatsu, haven't you?
Yeah.
We don't mess around.
When you load them right up, they just sag a little bit. So it's never got the 144 volts thumping through. But then when you put lithium in, they don't sag. You nail it, and it's still got 144 volts. And I've blown up a motor and I've blown up a controller.
Oops. Yes. Want to go fast? You can break stuff.
Alright, so we're getting there, but the real question is, what's it really like to drive a proper mad electric car? Well, I'm about to find out with Michael, who's the owner of this mad electric Space Wizard MR2.
Now, Michael, tell me, how did this project come about?
I always wanted to build a car, and I had Corollas when I was younger. I found this one online, I bought it, and then I put the bits together. I bought the bits over a couple of years and built it.
Do you get many people stopping and asking you about the car because it is an electric car?
A lot, because it's not really overt electric car. People have got to realise that it is an electric car, and then they'll start to ask questions. And then they want to have a look and know about how I built it, and what it can do, and it starts a conversation. It probably took me about a year to put it end to end. And I've had it running for 2 years.
Okay.
And I've done 10,000 Ks as an electric car.
How far do you get on a single charge?
About just under 100 Ks. And it depends how I drive it. If I hammer it, then that's less. If I'm easy, then it'll easily get me 100 Ks.
And it does, it really goes, doesn't it?
It hammers.
It hammers.
Yeah.
You've got a Mighty Car mod sticker on your car, so have you been watching for a while?
A long time, probably the whole time, because like I say, it was going to be a kit car. I wanted to build a car in my garage, so you're out there looking at ideas and found Mighty Car mods. And
why do we not all have an electric car right now?
There are things that are systematic because we've got a long history in cars, so if 50, 100 years in petrol cars. So electric cars, although they are quite old, don't have that history and that technology and that refinement. So it's going to take a little bit of that to come around. And the battery technology. The big thing is the battery technology, in that petrol is such a high capacity form of fuel, and batteries just don't have that energy density yet.
So when batteries are smaller and cheaper and more readily available, that's when we're going to start seeing the rise of the electric car.
Completely, yes. Yeah.
Well, mate, thank you so much for spending the time with us and letting me have a drive. It's really, really cool.
No worries. So you're going to run the two packs?
2 packs in series, then parallel them up. 144.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Right.
So make like 2 separate packs, then join them, then run them to the front.
What are the actual size, the cells? What are they? How many amp hours?
We don't know exactly, do we? How many do you need for a quarter mile,
So
Mark?
those skids.
15.
Very similar to that in my mirror, it was 17.
So they're already joined, Paul Mushley.
Oh, some you've got to go make small
We've
links.
got some links that weren't the right length. Somebody needs a drill.
Still deciding if it's the best way to do
We
it.
have a drill.
Put them in.
Right, you only need 5 and that's a goer. We're on our way.
He's right though.
Yeah!
Like you can literally plug it in, we'll go.
We could.
I don't know if it'll charge itself, but it'll go.
Yeah.
Something else.
Yeah, we thought that might...
DC to DC, we think.
Yeah, we think it's DC to DC.
That
I'm
would
not
make
sure.
sense.
That's kind of the bit of a theme. Like,
Someone
we're
needs
not
to
sure.
Do we do a wiring diagram, or we just say it worked before, we just put batteries in it, we do it again?
And try again.
Well, that's it.
That's stupid.
How much is that? Mr. Musk?
I reckon they're 20 something. 20 kilos easy.
Does it say on there? No.
No.
Just says heavy.
So that big box there, that looks like a giant industrial circuit breaker thing.
It's a circuit breaker.
It's a safety switch, you
It's a
said.
safety switch, yeah.
So how does it know when to...
If you
cut
accidentally pull too much current through the system, it'll trip.
Right. And by too much current, I mean, this would already pull lots of current as it is, right?
Not a hideous amount, because you haven't got an awful lot of batteries, and it's a fairly reasonably powered motor, so it would be an unusual amount of current for that to trip.
Right, okay. And that just lives there. And there's an isolator also that has a key down here, which I think is part of the whole thing of getting registered. Like you've got to jam your key. That activates something also somewhere?
Another switch, or perhaps the relay at the front.
Because when you turn that switch, that's when you see the volt gauge come up.
Yeah, so that means that the volt gauge is probably on this side of the contactor. As soon as you turn the switch, the contactor comes in, and then your voltmeters across it, and your motor for that matter.
Right.
The night wore on as we picked our way through the car to check that everything was working. The original chargers had little effect on the old batteries, so we've got to check them too.
Yeah, because 4855, that's lovely.
Yeah, perfect.
Does that mean it will...
It'll work.
If it's showing a voltage, it'll still work when we put a load on it?
Yeah, absolutely. It should nurse the load up to 55.
It'll either work or it won't work.
Okay. What do you think, Space Wizard?
Getting rid of all
That's
these...
going to be your nickname, by the way.
Well, this is own boy. I'm own boy. What do you
Okay,
mean?
fair enough.
Space Wizard. Propeller head. Yeah. 12.
There you go. What the problem is, these are
12. Join this pack up together, then run the power through these two lines here to go down to there. So that'll be the voltage from the rear, and then we'll make another one with the voltage from the front and join them together into there.
And that goes back to your
And that
motor.
all goes through there up to the front of the car.
Through the circuit breaker there.
Yeah.
So we are making 144 volts here.
Yep.
And,
we will.
And 144 here.
Yeah.
And they're doing it in parallel, so it stays at 144 volts.
Stays
but
144
you got
volts,
more capacity.
But, double capacity, yeah.
And then we go out and up to the front where all the controllers are and stuff via our circuit breaker. And
Up there. And then...
Sounds simple.
So much neater, isn't it, than having like wires everywhere?
so these are the two packs we were talking about. So one pack here that makes 144 volts, another pack there that makes 144, and then parallel them so you get like extra capacity.
That's crazy.
We just, all that wiring we pulled out, like we've got to...
Do you just attach one
change-
end on there and one end on there,
You
and you're
could,
done
well,
basically?
What could go wrong?
This is awesome, and we've been so excited about having you guys here. Look at them. Look at the legends.
I know.
It's electric cars, I love
we said we needed legends, and here they are.
And everybody here has an electric car.
That's awesome, isn't it?
And like most people drove it
Including
here.
you and me, Martin.
We
right
do.
here. The
Part
electric
of
car
the club,
gang.
man. Australian Electric Vehicle Association. There you go. Look at that, man.
Do you guys like it? This
I love
is
it.
cool.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everyone has said something except this part, but he just didn't say a word. Everyone's like, I love it.
He's our wise old man.
So to finish it off, Marty and I have got to make a brace to hold the batteries in. We got to get a couple of parts.
Both packs.
Both packs, yep. And we'll come up with something inventive to do that. And then we've got to wire it up. And what parts do we need?
A charger.
We'll get all your charger, and
Links.
I've got miscellaneous cables and stuff. Yeah.
We're going to borrow a charger, I think, for just a little while to get it working.
So another full day of it, and you reckon it'll be running?
For sure, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, Mark.
That's great, isn't it?
Well, we're going to come back when it's not midnight, and, and we'll start on our bracing.
All right. I'm going to go get some dinner.
Next episode, we continue our pursuit of electron-powered skids. We go on our first drive,
We're dead, Martin.
look at battery packs, organise some bolts, and maybe even let the smoke out.